I do think that you could, like you see that in positions where like this next person is going to fail.
Good morning and welcome to the Hodgeback Sports Life and everything in between. First show of March. Hodge, Misty, and Josh, the team back together as we get ready for this Friday again. We're glad that you're with us. We're brought to you by Lida Lane and Cattle. We are hanging out in the Potosi Life studio, and we got a ton to talk about sports, life, and everything in between. Misty back from a little bit of going out west, back from oh no, yeah, you had
I had to go to a funeral.
oh yeah, Lee's 95.
Yeah.
95-year-old grandmother passing away, and so we're back. Lots to cover, lots going on. We've got the Ira boys basketball coach Jamie Arnold at the bottom of the hour. They get the luxury, the privilege to play the Jayton Jaybirds, the defending two-time state champions, playing tonight at the United Spirit Arena. So playing where Tech plays. So that'll be an experience. We'll have Coach Jamie Arnold at the bottom of the hour. NFL movements are going on, trades, free agency starting next week, and a lot of other folks as well. And so we'll just dive into our Lawrence Hall headline report. First off, how is everybody?
Great. I'm so glad it's Friday.
Yes, it is. It's Friday. It's a little windy outside, but the weather's supposed to be nice today. So
I thought the rain chances. I thought we had rain chances.
Well, yeah, that last night was supposedly like about to rain. My phone went off and said, rain starting in 10 minutes. I think it like sprinkled. I think.
Yeah, we're needing some rain. Misty, we'll get to sports, but we'll dive into it. So, how was the robot car?
So,
was that an Uber?
So it's called Waymo, and I've heard of those before, but of course, there's none in town. But yeah, basically, there is no physical car, and they are all over Arizona. And so we actually took an Uber to a restaurant, and our Uber driver, we were like, hey, what's up with these Waymos everywhere? And he was like, oh, y'all should totally try it. Like, it's super sophisticated. They're Jaguars, electric cars. And he kind of talked us into it. He was like, give it a shot, go a couple miles, just see. And we were like, okay. So we took one, which is what I posted on Facebook, because I was like, I have to document this. Like, this is just so.
I mean, that's the closest thing. We're not flying in cars yet, but that's like the Jetsons.
Oh, yeah. No, it was absolutely insane. And so you just do it on the app, much like Uber. It pulls up, and you have to click the button for the door to unlock. You get in. You can listen to whatever station you want to listen to. We were hitting up some Co-Wetzel radio, all taking it 4 times on trip. Never had any problems. But I mean, what you see in the video I posted, it was our real reaction, because that was the first time we took it, but felt safe. It is very sophisticated. The only thing I would say is if there's a lot of construction, I've heard that maybe you shouldn't try to get in one, or a roundabout. The Uber driver said, like, one time it like got stuck in the roundabout and just kept going and going. But you can actually stop it. It will make a stop on destination. You just click it from the app, and so you can get out of that. I think there's some maybe in the Austin area, possibly DFW. And so
there's no driver to yell at.
But but it's great, because let's be real, Ubers are great, but sometimes you get somebody maybe a little sketch, or you just don't want to talk to them. And then you're not tipping the money. It was cheaper than an Uber by about $10 to $15. And we had no problems. So I loved it. I actually took it by myself, because, I don't really like to drive in an Uber by myself, being a female without my husband. And so
it'd be kind of awkward to drive in the Uber. You'd have to tell the driver.
Oh, yeah, riding in the Uber.
Driver, I'm taking over. I'm the captain now.
Highly recommend. Just, again, stay away from roundabouts and construction. I think you'll be fine. But apparently they're very common in Arizona, and it's just no big deal. They just drive all over.
Lynn Lawhon just said Misty's Waymo more than both of us. I
Yeah.
don't doubt that at all. But yeah,
when Leanne showed me that video, because I have a proxy for most social media, and Molly and I were talking about it, and Molly thought there's no driver, which I agree, it's crazy, but at least you get away from the crazy Uber driver.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Because
honestly great.
there's been a few Uber drivers that I was like, when that car stopped, I got out and I was like, thank you, Jesus, that I'm still alive.
Like real talk. No,
yes,
I feel you. And imagine being a female. Like at least you could probably.
No, I'm not even talking about the being assaulted by the driver. I'm talking about their driving ability.
Oh, that too.
Me, turning from the wrong lane, zipping into traffic, things like that.
Well, see, and I have a rule every time I get in an Uber. I always ask the Uber driver who's the most famous person they've ever picked up.
Mm-hmm.
Every time. And
have you gotten some good ones?
No, not really.
Yeah.
No.
The problem is half the time the people don't know who famous people are, or just they don't understand me. I'll say that.
Well, yes, there's sometimes the language barrier. There's also the strange music that you get sometimes when you get into an Uber, where it's like, to each their own.
Right.
But
no doubt. But anyway, so Misty survived Waymo, and she'll is Waymo about it and other things. So anyway, let's dive into our Lawrence Hall Headline Report. LawrenceHallAbileneOnline.com is where you can find your new car, truck, or SUV. Or as Corey says in the ad, if you just need some good old service, that's who you need to reach out to. Golf happening, Arnold Palmer Invitational. Daniel Berger leading at 9 under, and Colin Morikawa at 6 under in that tournament as the Florida swing continues. Yesterday, again, in Texas high school basketball news, Eula comes up short over Broadus. They lose 52-42. Another great season tournament last year, state championship. Lost again to Broadus. Had a lot graduate, but found a way to get back to the state tournament and play for a state championship. And again, congratulations, Coach Vostell and the Eula Lady Pirates on a great win or a great season this year. Yesterday, Panhandle won the state championship 38-25 over Mason. Lipan wins another state championship 42-35. In the Nazareth Lady Swift, or the Swiftettes as they call themselves, the 27th state championship as they win 43-28 over Saltillo. Joe Lombard, Matt Garrett, Amy Huseman, Eric Schilling, they just keep printing money in the form of state championships in the city of Nazareth. 27th state championship. Unbelievable.
it is unbelievable.
What is this Swifty or Swift?
Well,
what is that? Sorry, I
it's
squirreled off.
It's kind of like a little fox looking thing.
Oh, cute. Okay.
Yeah, I think
I've just
somebody
never
can correct
heard
me
of
if
that.
yeah. Well, they should just be called the Nazareth Lady Champions. It should be their mascot. Just unbelievable on the success that they've had. Their boys are playing tonight for a chance to get into the state semifinals, the Final Four there as well. And again, we mentioned Jayton and Ira playing tonight. Coach Jamie Arnold at the bottom of the hour. The Monday Moguls are still in it. And also, Josh letting her know what a Swiftette is.
Yes.
It is really cute.
Is it a fox thing, or was I close?
Yeah, it's a small light orange tan fox around the size of a domestic cat found in the western Great Plains grasslands of North America.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, they've got.
Who decided that? Like, do you?
Who decides they need a mascot?
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
all right, so
at least it sounds like it's something from the area that they're in. I don't know why.
I mean, I was a lady again, heifer. Like, what?
Well, but I've said this all along. You know, Wichita Falls just went from 3 schools to 2, and when you do that, you have the did in 19 whatever when the other high schools started. You are starting. You've got colors, you got name, you got mascot. You get to write a school song because you're not bringing High Rider and Hershey together songs together. I guess you could in the AI world, but you get that opportunity. Fails nowadays, everybody's going to make sure every school that's new seems like they're liberty, or something, because they don't want to have to be canceled because they know somebody they shouldn't have. And you get a mascot. It's like everybody goes or Eagles, and I'm like, Wichita Falls Mavericks, I believe, is what they went with. A little different there. So anyway, very good point, Misty. I think about it all the time because you see shirts that of a school or something established in X, or a business started 1994 or 18 something. It's like somebody's going to wear a T-shirt that says Wichita Falls Liberty. Is it Liberty? I don't know now. Established in 2024, and somewhere down the road, somebody in 2060, like, man, that's an old school.
Yeah.
Such an old school. But anyway, so yeah, Swiftettes rocking and rolling. The other thing in high school basketball news, and I'm going to throw this out for Josh. We got about 2 minutes, and Misty. Blake Allen, the head basketball coach at Jim Ned's, been on the show. Good basketball coach, good cross country coach, taking the Jim Ned cross country team to state. Steps down as the boys basketball coach. Are the great jobs or in the big country? We talk about, the middle job is a great job. Alabama's coach is football is a great job. But the New York Yankees job opens up, it's a great job to be the Yankees manager, the Cowboys head coach. What about the big country? What would you say are some jobs that are attractive when they come open? Because I thought about this as the Jim Ned boys job, the growth that's out at Jim Ned, you do have to run into a wall, but jobs in the big country.
Well, when you asked that, my first thought was, and I mean, no offense to all of our generally height deficient local men's basketball programs, but you don't really see a lot of deep runs in the big country in boys basketball. It tends to be more girls that are good.
But I'm saying overall jobs in the big country, not just boys basketball.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I probably wouldn't choose a basketball job to be like the dream destination for a basketball coach. But there, I mean, any school that has a tradition of being like typically successful, if you can step into that where the community is already behind you because the program has been successful, I mean, that could be any town around here.
See, I think
football, basketball, baseball, whatever the case may be.
See, I think the jobs that I think of Wiley Tennis, Eula on the basketball side.
Mm-hmm.
From a football perspective, I think probably the Jim Ned football job, the Wiley football, of course, either of the two high schools here in Abilene are great jobs. I wouldn't want to be the guy that replaces Denny Faith at Albany, but the tradition that Albany's had has been really good. A place like Hawley has become a great Jables. It wasn't a great job before. So I don't know. So it's just interesting when you think, because it doesn't matter. Even if Kalen DeBoer leaves Alabama, everybody says that's still one of the top jobs in the country. The LSU football job, top job in the country. Anything probably at the University of Texas, right, wrong, and different, one of the great jobs in the country. So just got me thinking. But again, Blake Allen steps down as the head basketball coach at Jim Ned. And then we end with this. Lawrence headline report. Lou Holtz, the legendary coach at Notre Dame, college coach, passes away at the age of 89. Led the Fighting Irish to their last national championship in '88. Lou Holtz, one of those voices and faces of college football, passes away this past week at the age of 89. When we come back, more Hodgeback Sports Live and everything in between. I'm trying to think of what others. I think a Wiley baseball job.
Yeah, the Wiley baseball job is definitely good.
Thing though, like seriously, they'll definitely need to do it at some point, just for fun. And if you're scared, just go like a mile.
Just go like a mile.
You can control the air conditioner in there. Tell it you want more leg space, and the seats will just go up.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Like it is highly sophisticated.
With the splash is scary.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little crazy when it just took off. It was like, okay, we're really doing this. But luckily, we lived to tell about it.
Welcome back to the Hodgeback Sports Life and everything in between. Hodge, Misty, and Josh rocking and rolling on our first show of March. Spring break again coming up for folks next week. Hope you're going to be able to get away. Folks getting away are happening in the NFL. Free agency about to start. Folks know that they are no longer going to be on their same teams. Josh, last week we talked a little bit about what the Cowboys should do, whether they should franchise tag George Pickens. They have made that decision to do that. Still a lot of money for him. I know it's not a long-term deal right away for Pickens, but I think it was the right choice. I think you do that. And the other thing that I saw this week that I thought was important was that Dak in restructuring their contracts to elevate, a bigger cap space so we can go to the defense and all the things. So real quick, your thoughts on the George Pickens franchise tag, right decision, or should we have let him walk?
I like it.
I like it too. I mean, I know that players usually don't like it, and George Pickens seems like one of those people that could be disgruntled by certain things, so that I don't know how it's going to translate to him being on the field, but he was a difference maker last year when he decided to be. I don't know. It looks like sometimes he kind of just took plays off.
Well, but I think it was toward the end of the year. But there were times, especially when CD was out.
Oh yeah.
That Pickens was very much the guy that Pittsburgh.
He had it at certain times that it looked like
he had an alligator arm on one that like was running and like his arms never wasn't even alligator arm. They didn't come out like didn't make a effort to make the catch. But in last week was like, I just don't think you pay a large amount of money to receivers. We've seen that in Cincinnati and it did not benefit them. But I think the franchise tag still says, hey, and I think it's 20-something plus $1 million, which I know you want to make more than that. I get it. And you want more years guaranteed to guarantee you're making more of that money than just 1 year. But in the grand scheme, if you will have another, and Dak is another one. Dak was franchise tagged multiple times. And now look, his longevity, his worth, I know it's the quarterback position, but has proven to be, hey, you are worth this. We cannot afford to not pay you.
Well, and that's the thing. He doesn't have that chip on his shoulder like he can come with. And Dak maybe will tell him, hey, same thing happened to me. Like, stay with it. You're going to be fine. Because there were a lot of games that, it was all about Pickens. Even when Lamb was healthy and he was out there,
right.
It was the night of George. So I am excited that we're going to have him back for sure.
One free agent that has not been taken care of is Brandon Aubrey. And, I've seen $10 million a year. Do I think a kicker is worth $10 million? Let me ask you that. We always joke, well, as long as we get to the 50, we have a chance to at least score 3. And against Arizona, we probably should have kicked the field goal, according to Josh, and maybe we win that game. Is Aubrey worth $10 million?
He was the I think so. I think, yes, I would say that Brandon Aubrey is.
Josh? Kickers are important.
The kickers are important.
But are they $10 million a year important?
He is a difference maker. I would really have to and I haven't done this research to see what is the scale, what are other kickers making? He needs to make more than them. But
what are they
double,
making? 5?
or $1 million more. I really don't know what kickers make. So that would be the thing that I would have to before I could make a determination on whether I thought that was the way we should go. But I do think
we've got to. We have to have him.
You negotiate.
Okay, as of March, Kansas City Chiefs, Harrison Buckner is the highest paid kicker, 6.4.
All right, so 10's probably too much.
I agree. But $10 million for a kicker.
7.5.
6, 7.
Oh, he's still going.
Make him the highest paid because he should be.
Now,
he's
I'm
the
going to
best
tell
at
you,
his job.
He is the best at his job, but and no kicker's perfect. But he had some moments last year.
He did, but not very many.
And so.
Not very many.
And here's the deal: he's no different than when you sign that quarterback, or you sign that receiver, you sign that you fill in the blank. You better live up to it. And if we go to $10 million a year, which I agree with Josh, I don't think he's worth $10 million a year.
Maybe they'll go 8, or I think he will be the highest paid though.
I would agree with that. I think because it's not how many people, especially the Dak people that want to get rid of Dak. There's 32 teams in the league. I would say anywhere between 20 to 25 would take Dak in a heartbeat.
I agree.
Yes.
And in the same realm, there's 32 teams in the league. There's probably 30 to 31 teams that would take Brandon Aubrey in a heartbeat, except maybe Buckner, who's been sufficient for $6.4 million a year for the
Yeah,
Chiefs.
He was injured last year, so I don't know
Yeah.
what the status on that
And
is,
so
but-
you start looking at that anyway. So yes, they need to sign Aubrey. Do not pay him $10 million a year at least.
But that brings up that, like you talk about, with what we as Cowboys fans have endured basically since Aikman retired. Quarterback's never been good enough, and it was purgatory for a long time. But then that you bring up of, like, in the realm of realism, that have a quarterback that if they let them go, that's a job.
He's a backup somewhere.
Yeah. You got Kyler Murray now available as a free agent, and I know that's one of those things that's like, no, I don't know that there's many teams that are just clamoring.
Okay, so
Kyler
all right, let's roll right into that next part of the rundown. So Kyler Murray is not going to be kept by the Arizona Cardinals. He is going to be released and is going somewhere else. How many teams out there? Because there are 32 teams, there are not 32 great starting quarterbacks in the league. Malik Willis had a good run last year with the Packers after Love was hurt, and people are like, oh, you better go get Malik Willis. How many people out there? It's there. Where is the best fit for Kyler Murray? Because I do think he's still good. He's the #1 draft pick, and Josh loved Unsportsmanlike today. Download, subscribe, rate, and review to their podcast as well. If nothing else, just listen Clock Hour 2. And they talked about your statement of drafting the #1 draft pick being a quarterback, especially the #1. They went off on the number of people that have won a Super Bowl as the #1 draft pick is very, very, very small. Kyler Murray was that. Kyler Murray basically pushed Josh Rosen out of the league.
Yes.
And so,
which they'd already wasted a high draft pick on Rosen.
Right. So but Kyler Murray, again, he was, for some people, fantasy football.
He's put up some fantasy.
Put some numbers. Somebody is going to need and want Kyler Murray. So, as I get the teams up, I'm going to ask you, we'll go you first. Where would be a good fit for Kyler Murray?
Well, if you think about just the NFC East,
there's not a spot for them. Okay.
All
right. So we'll even go like Misty. We're going to go with you now. Your Buffalo Bills do not need a quarterback. The Miami Dolphins.
The Dolphins could use a quarterback. I don't know what they think about.
What about the Vikings?
I think that Vikings are great because
Kyler could go there.
I think J.J. McCarthy is not ready to be the guy.
Right.
If he was, there wouldn't be any panic. There's way too many TV shows, and I know I watch a lot of ESPN and Unsportsmanlike and all those things. A lot of talk about J.J. McCarthy not being ready. I think the Vikings are a great spot. I think the place where the Aaron Rodgers is not sure what he's going to do. I think the Steelers wouldn't be. They need a quarterback. The Jets need a quarterback. But if I'm Kyler Murray, I'm selective.
Absolutely.
Because I've made in the world of money, I'm going to be I'm not saying I'm going to be real picky, but I'm not going to just go to be a starter somewhere. I want it to be a situation where I might be able to succeed.
Well, but that depends on what that perception is of the whole rest of the league. I mean, he just got benched by the Arizona Cardinals for Jacoby Brissett.
Well, part of that, I think he was hurt, and then they kept him on the sideline. I agree with that.
I think the whole hurt was phantom the whole time.
He just wanted to play more video games.
Well, they were like, he's kind of start next week, and then he didn't, and then he'll be back next week, and then he didn't, and now he's out for the season.
More for the story.
Yeah, well, yes, because he had type injury that caused him to miss a start.
A lot of Call of Duty.
It was actually against the Cowboys. We were there, and so then that minor injury turned into season-ending injury, and I just think that was you got benched.
All right, I'm rapid firing like Misty loves to do. Ravens got a quarterback. Bengals got a quarterback. The Browns they've got plenty of quarterbacks. They don't have any room in the end. Pittsburgh Steelers already threw them out. The Bears have a quarterback. The Packers, quarterback. I still think the Vikings, I agree with Misty.
I can see the Vikings.
The Texans have a quarterback, but not sure how good he is. Indianapolis, don't know what Daniel Jones' situation is. Anthony Richardson has been able to look. Jacksonville has a quarterback. Tennessee has a quarterback. The Falcons, could it be a play? Kirk Cousins is older. The Panthers have Bryce Young. I think Tyler Shuck is the guy in New Orleans. Baker Mayfield's the guy at the Bucs. Arizona, he's leaving. He's not going to L.A., not going to San Fran, not going to Seattle. Chargers have a quarterback. Raiders are about to have a quarterback. Broncos and Chiefs have a quarterback. Maybe there's not as many places as I thought.
No, I honestly think that there's 3 or 4 teams that would be in the market for a come start free agent that's not, like obviously if there are certain quarterbacks that if today they're available, anybody's job would be in jeopardy. But Kyler Murray is not that.
I stand corrected. There's not as many as I thought. There's 3.
And and that's what I was saying. Like if you're Kyler Murray, if you're visiting with your agent this week, getting ready for free agency to launch next week, they've got feelers out there, but I don't know what his general perception is. He's an incredible athlete. He has shown a lack of discipline, like on the field and very much off the field. And all of, and I don't know it, but all the rumors that he'd rather play video games than study film and up the playbook. So,
I'll end it with this. I agree with Misty. I think there's 3. Minnesota would be at the top of the list. The Dolphins need a quarterback because Tua's in the same boat as him with less success to go find a place.
Needs to retire.
Yeah, Tua needs to go before he has another injury that
Tua needs to go to the booth.
Tua
should just go to the booth.
Yeah.
Steelers, Vikings, Dolphins are 3 that need quarterbacks because we don't know what Will Howard is good. I think that's it. So maybe there's not as many places as we think. All teams left in the playoffs. State tournament this week for the girls. Boys finding a way to get there as the regional finals are happening last night, tonight, and trying to make it. One of those teams trying to make it is our Big Country Electric My Town segment, Coach Jamie Arnold and the Ira Bulldogs. When we come back, we'll head out to Ira. Here, cut.
I'm excited we've been kind of on this.
Well, Miami has why does name just leave me? No, Texas. Yeah. Would he get a chance?
Will he have a chance?
Yeah.
I mean, he's not going to go anywhere. It's too cheap.
Well, I know. But do you go into next season? All right. Quinn Ewers was our backup last year.
Are y'all going to the Liberty Brock game?
Yeah.
Stick around for the Lamesa game.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I think they're
Is that at ACU?
Clyde.
They're a little worried because their post has been sick all week, Coleman. So if he's not well, it could be bad. But they are a fun team to watch. The boys. I've watched a few of their games this season. It's been really good. So we're gonna go to that tonight.
Speaking of basketball, I was watching the Wiley West 7th grade team had a couple of really good players.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Did y'all play them? I mean, y'all had to have played them.
Yeah, we lost by 6.
Why is that not?
Okay, let's go on to the.
Oh, hi.
All right. Well, that's not working, so I'm not hearing it. I'm just going to call from.
Yeah, I need to get that check today.
Yeah, I'll bring it to lunch.
Okay. I'm off the body list.
Hello.
Hey, Coach, how's it going?
Good, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing good, doing good. Our little phone issue, not sure what our phone problem is, but got it up going now. Not sure what it was not coming through wasn't coming through the board like I'd like it. So, all right, we got a couple commercials left. Coach, we'll just kind of go with, we'll introduce you, kind of how long you've been at IRA, what your coaching path that led you to IRA, talk about the season, and what's y'all's record right now?
We are 26-10.
Okay. And then, Tom, we'll go back to this. And of course, we'll talk about getting to play at the Spirit Arena tonight, playing against the defending champs, all those things.
Yes, sir.
So, all right.
Thank you.
Yep. You bet. Who was the coach? How long have you been at IRA?
This is year one for me.
Okay.
This is my first year. Todd Wall, who's actually one of the assistants, he was there before me. And then Bubba Edwards has been here.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Bubba was there when I won him.
okay.
All right. We got one more commercial and we're coming to you.
All right, sounds good.
Welcome back to the Hodgepack. When you hear that, you know it's time for our Big Country Electric My Town segment, brought to you by Big Country Electric Cooperative, taking care of the members each and every day out of Roby Snyder and Stanford. And one of those members, through their basketball coach, we highlighted a local player coach or program. Today we got a program and a coach that's joining us on our Pest Patrol phone line. Coach Jamie Arnold, the head boys basketball coach at IRA. And if you're on a radio show on Friday in March, that means your team is still playing in the playoffs, and that's exactly what the Bulldogs are doing. Coach, we get you taking time to join us this morning.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about, again, you guys are 26-10. This is your first year at IRA. Talk about the season that you're having and kind of where you were before and what led you to IRA.
Yes, sir. Man, we're having a fun season. The kids are battling. We've had some ups, we've had some downs. Lots of tough games, lots of good games that are for us. And the kids they just show up every day and continue to work hard and just get after it. I was at Friendship ISD for the last 11 years. I got to work for 1 year under Coach Paul Page. Worked with Coach Chris Roberts there too, which was great. It's a great experience for me. And then the job here at IRA, it opened up. Snyder, grew up in Snyder. My wife's from Snyder. We got family in Snyder. And so really we just talked about, small town feel. Job opened up, applied, and was blessed to be able to be accepted and come and work. So we're excited. We're glad to be here. We're thankful for this community. And we're just happy to be here.
Well, and you think about the place of IRA coming off a state championship in baseball, and we talked before we came to break, the coaches that had been there, and Bubba Edwards and Coach Wall, and just being able to go to a place to be a head coach, but a place that expectations in IRA are, kids going to work hard, kids going to play hard, and it's a great opportunity to get that head coaching job, to be able to take on kids that are going to play hard.
Oh, absolutely. That was a big thing. Growing up, you know about IRA, you know what the culture is. The kids are great kids, great community. Kids come to work, they work hard every day. It was just an exciting opportunity. Coach Wall, that's still here. Thankfully he gets to be on our staff with us. Him and his brother Jess, man, we're blessed with them, and them getting to coach our kids every day. It's just a great opportunity for us.
Well, and I had the I officiated y'all's game on the road when you played at Hermely, and your kids, I mean, they play hard, they act right. I mean, they just do it. They were a joy to officiate. So let's talk about this season. First year, 26-10. You're in the playoffs, a chance to get to the Final Four. If there was a state tournament, you'd be having a chance to talk about your game tonight. There's no secret you're playing the two-time defending state champs in Jayton. Getting to play at the Spirit Arena, which is going to be cool for you and your kids. Talk about the state that your team is in right now and getting ready to, as I mentioned, play another game in March.
Yeah, absolutely. What an exciting time. What a cool experience for these kids, for this community. Man, they're excited. They're confident. They're excited. We had a great practice yesterday. We got kids up here this morning just wanting to shoot around. It's just a lot of excitement. And what a great challenge. What a great opportunity for us to go play Jayton. And that's what we want to do. We want to play good teams, the best teams, and we want to see what we can do against them. We want to prove that we can play as well. We're going to come out, and the kids are going to get to enjoy the experience. That's the cool thing about getting to play at the Spirit Arena, is they get to have this experience. The community gets to have the experience. We're thankful. We're grateful that we get to do that. And it's just another game, another opportunity for us.
And so how do you approach that? What will be, just curious, don't have a program or anything. What's your experience as far as team-wise? Are we young, middle, senior-led? Talk about your team.
Oh, absolutely. We're senior-led. We got 4 seniors that are just great leaders for us on and off the court. 4 guys that bear down, that kind of set the tone for us every game. They all 4 start, and then we got 1 sophomore that starts. We've got 1 junior on the team. We got 4 total sophomores, and then we've got 1 freshman. So we've got a good mix, but we're definitely senior-led. And those underclassmen, they're bringing it every day. It's been fun. It's a good team.
Well, and so how much of that, and I'm assuming, again, small, the size of town that I is when I coached at Roby, kids played everything. How many of those kids were on that state championship baseball team, and how much of that experience do you think can help roll over playing in a big game like tonight?
Oh, man, there was probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 of them that probably got to experience the state championship baseball thing, which is awesome. I think their mindset is we're just going to treat it just like another game. Yeah, it's a big gym, it's a big arena, it's a big gym, but at the same time, it's basketball. We're going to come out and we're going to treat it just like any other game. We're going to approach it the same way that we have approached games, from the start of district. I think that's big, and I do. I think that it sits in their mind, and they know themselves through that.
And so what's the speed? Well, let me rephrase this. What's the rest of the day look like as you get ready? And then what do you think it's going to take to be able to, and I don't think y'all are in a situation where it's David versus Goliath. It is versus a program that obviously has 2 rings, not to count the rings that come with football with this group. But what will the rest of the day look like? And then what will be the message a little bit for the Bulldogs as they get ready to take on the Jaybirds?
Yeah, and hats off to Jayton, Coach Bleeker, Coach Stanley, man, they're both great coaches. They do a good job over there. I know Jayton's got good kids, good hardworking kids. Their community is right there behind them as well. Today, man, we're gonna go to class. There's a baseball tournament going on here. There's track yesterday. There's softball going on. Tennis, man. It's just that small town. But we're going to go to class. We're going to enjoy the day. We're going to have a little shoot around. And then we're going to buzz. I think they're going to have a little send-off for us, which is cool for those kids. And then we're going to go. We're going to go up to Lubbock. We're going to get to, the Supermarkets Arena. And we're going to get off the bus, and we're going to go play. We're going to go enjoy the experience. We're going to go play hard. And we're just going to go do what we do. That's kind of the game plan. We're going to go in with confidence and just do what we do. We're going to play how we play.
Well, and again, Coach, I appreciate you taking the time. I know game day and class and everything is a busy day, especially getting ready for a playoff game. And as you mentioned, when springtime happens, every form of a ball, it seems like it's happening at once. And so best of luck tonight as you guys go play. And again, got to watch you play. I know your kids are going to play hard and they shoot the ball well and all the things. And
Thank you.
look forward to it's definitely a game. If you're on your way to Lubbock or near Lubbock, listen to this. It will be worth watching. And so appreciate you taking the time to join us and enjoy the day and enjoy the Spirit Arena.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you again for having me.
All right, there you go. That's Jamie Arnold, the head basketball coach at Ira, as they get ready tonight. Ira, Jayden at the Spirit Arena. No Red Raiders, but there'll be some orange and black and gold. So be sure you check that out. It'll be a great game if you're in that area. When we come back, Misty's Bag right after this.
That's what I was wondering, like just straight up, like they're going straight,
Like Pete Cavilla for the Rangers was
like straight
he
major.
played at Oklahoma State. He was drafted and never played in the minor leagues.
Gotcha. That's what I was wondering.
I think we're going to go, I'm assuming you're talking about the spring training experience.
Yeah, we were talking about baseball.
I think we're going to tomorrow go catch the Yankees and the Nationals.
That'll be fun. Where are they at?
I think spring break next year we're going to go to
West Palm.
That'll be
we're
fun.
gonna go to Arizona.
Y'all should. Like I've never been to
Are
Arizona. and
y'all
it
both
was
here
cool.
next Friday? Y'all going anywhere spring break?
No. Yeah, we're here.
No.
Sorry, I had to
What are we-
think.
what are we answering?
What are we doing?
I don't have any plans.
Yeah, I was like, what's next
Yeah,
week?
no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
No, no. I don't know.
Yeah, that whole thing though is just interesting how it all works.
No, baseball is super complicated. The whole process of
Yeah, sounds that way. Yeah, I just had never, like I said, really paid attention to any of the spring training and all that stuff. But of course, with us being there, Clay was looking it up, and because some of the games are early, late, it's all mixed. And that one particular day, I didn't have a session start until like 3, so we were able to. We only got to watch a few innings because I had to get back, but we were there probably an hour and a half. But it was worth it, even just going there.
But yeah, you could go they have the main facility at each one of their workout facilities. Like y'all went to the Angels one. They have what they call the backfields, or that you can go back there. That's where they do like practice, or some of the minor league guys are back there, and you can just watch them. Like do their drill.
Yeah, y'all definitely should make that a priority because
Yeah.
and y'all would too. I mean,
I would
so fun. Like,
but I've always wanted to go, and like I thought about doing it this year, and I really just kind of never got around to like going through the planning and doing and then it just kind of got too close before I was like, oh well, it's too late.
right? Yeah.
We are going to opening day though,
Oh, that's fun.
so I'll miss the show then, April 3rd.
Yeah, that's fun. Oh my gosh. Man, I am struggling now.
Welcome back to the Hodge Pack. Appreciate Coach Jamie Arnold joining us. If you missed that or just want to hear it again, go over to Apple or Spotify and download, subscribe, rate, review the Hodge Pack podcast. A lot of fun to listen to, and definitely catch the interview that we just had with Coach Arnold as they get ready and play the Jayton Jaybirds tonight. You got games all around. You got Monday in Water Valley playing at ACU. Clyde is hosting Lubbock, Cooper, Liberty, and Brock, and Lamesa and Henrietta. So if you need your basketball fix, you're a little sad your team's not in it, there's still games to go watch. So be sure and go and check those out. Now it's time to open up Misty's bag.
There's always a lot going on at Mulligan Sports Bar, Grill, and Golf, located at 1166 Ben Ritchie Drive. So a couple things I want to mention towards the end of March, on March 28th, Mulligan is doing a benefit for Coach Keaton Davis Robinson. There's going to be a allotment, cornhole tournament, golf tournament, baked goods, auction, whole sponsors available, all the things. So make sure that you're following their Facebook page so you can get in on all of that. Don't forget Mondays, Jindo. If you haven't played Jindo, it's like musical bingo, super fun, by the way. I've played it a few times and it is a lot of fun. And then Wednesday, which is one of my favorite days at Mulligan's, with the BOGO wings, you get a bucket of beer and you get a free small bucket of golf balls. So they'll be having their crawfish bowl coming up and just all the things. So make sure you stay in the know.
And if you enjoy golf, also the other thing that Mulligan's has is their spring golf league. And so if you want to play that or randomly shout some things out, we're going to have Kyle in next Friday, which is cool. He's going to come on the day it opens. There'll probably be people playing. I know my dad's probably excited. But Maxwell opens up next week. So big day, a lot of things going on in the world of the King family for sure. But yeah, their golf league is a lot of fun. So if you want something to do on Monday nights, that's another thing at Mulligan's as well.
Absolutely. All right. So I've been thinking about, the passing of Lou Holtz this week. And so that's where this question was generated from. So I want to know, what's your Mount Rushmore of coaches who have passed away?
Okay. Well, number one, there's no doubt, is John Wooden. A lot of people bought his books. Was fortunate enough to hear John Wooden speak at ACU. And book signed by him, and it's so dumb, Hodge. I have no idea where it's at. John Wooden, I mean, the Super Bowl trophy is named after Vince Lombardi, so I would have to put Vince Lombardi up there. And I think I'll go ahead and say this. I think Pat Summitt would probably find her way up there. So it gives me three. Folks that have passed away. Well, I've got three of them, Josh. I've got John Wooden, Vince Lombardi, and Pat Summitt. Will you chisel one away or leave them and then help me add the fourth?
Well, I mean, I think as a Cowboys fan, you got to put Tom Landry on there.
Okay. Because I don't think you can take John Wooden down.
Well, I mean,
he won 10 straight national championships.
No,
not 10 straight, but he won. Yeah.
I mean, y'all, I'm kind of surprised y'all haven't said John Madden. Just in terms of
no way,
because he's
not from a coach standpoint. His impact on football, his impact on the league, his impact because he did win a Super Bowl, the impact that he did make an impact in the booth, and the impact of his video game.
Change the question to biggest impact. and then he'd
Yeah.
be on there.
He would definitely have a possibility then. But no, I'm not putting John. I mean, John Madden's down there as part of, like, we had these tiers as we talked about at
Yes.
your house the other day on Texas Independence Day Eve. Was that there's a smaller version of Mount Rushmore that you could the top.
Yes, yeah.
But
Honorable
so
mentions.
yeah, honorable chisels.
Honorable chisels.
But it is hard when you are talking about all sports, from all levels, who are I always have had a difficult time trying to like balance whether it's the athletes, the coaches, or whatever. If you're talking about who are the greatest all time, well, how do you compare, I don't know, Michael Jordan to Barry Bonds?
Mm.
Like they're the people that I watched, so in my lifetime, thought they were very good, thought they were the best at their particular sport, but who was like better compared to like sport versus sport? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like,
so John Wooden won 7 in a row, 10 total. So
no,
are you chiseling away?
He's a legend among legends. But then, like I say, Tom Landry, who coached the Cowboys forever, and as a Cowboys-centric kind of thought process, yeah, I would say like he popped into my mind. But then it's like, well, but if he's not, in my opinion, the greatest football coach that's ever lived, but he's in the conversation.
Yeah. So would you leave Lombardi or take Lombardi and replace? Because I still need a fourth. Because Misty's question was passed away, not just passed, but John Wooden, Vince Lombardi, Pat Summitt, and there I'm at. I'm not, and I could listen to Lou Holtz talk and the advice that he gave and all those things all day long, but I'm not putting.
No.
Unbelievable coach and motivator and speaker, and you see when he passed, social media was just flooding with.
So honorable mention chisel goes to Lou somewhere down there.
Yeah, he's getting chiseled.
He's getting chiseled.
He's just not the full.
Maybe top 10.
Yeah, I would maybe.
Maybe.
But I don't have a fourth. So who do you have? I mean, you had Madden.
Well, I was kind of thinking more of just impact. But I have the ones that you have. So, but we still need a fourth, even if we go with mine. Could we all agree?
Wooden, Vince Lombardi, Pat Summitt.
Do you agree with those three?
Yeah, well, yes.
Or would you take? You could put Landry in over Lombardi.
But I have a hard time like deciding how I would want to do that. Like that's
You can't undo a chisel.
No, not easily. It's
for sure. My chisel.
I'm not even sure what that means.
Nobody does when they say it.
Okay, so let's see what we can agree on.
All right.
We putting Vince in?
I'm putting.
I mean, I feel like I would put him in.
Right. So we've got 3.
And Pat.
Yeah, but I'm. To me, Wooden is no doubt.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, so we're agreeing those 3. We still need a fourth.
Well, what about? I mean, if you're going basketball, what about Red Auerbach? Like the Celtics won 8 championships.
A lot of championships.
Mm-hmm.
Lot of champs.
All right.
Hey, you know what's really great about right now, Josh?
What is so great?
Is we're going to do the station identification and kick off our, so you have a little more time to think.
Okay.
Hour 2 is kicking off again, brought to you by Coleman County State Bank. ComeonBank.com. Reach out to their mortgage team, Tammy and all her team, to help you find that new house, maybe a rental, maybe a place to stay, maybe a commercial, whatever. You reach out to Tammy and their mortgage team at Coleman Bank, Coleman County State Bank, ColemanBank.com. 2 great locations here in Abilene, and of course they'll be able to take out to Tammy and those folks. Bad question is, with the passing in, Lou Holtz passing away at the age of 89, not only at Notre Dame but at Arkansas, South Carolina, had a stint in the NFL. Passed away this past week, and Misty's question was, what is or who are the Mount Rushmore of the greatest coaches that have passed away? We have agreed on John Wooden. We have agreed on Vince Lombardi. And we have agreed on Pat Summitt. And when I say we, Misty and I. Josh and the kickoff, hour number 2, to still think. My Uncle Billy, who's watching and listening in Mont Phillips, no offense, not happening. Tom Landry, possibly. Went.
Well, we've got college basketball represented, boys and the girls side, in professional. We don't have anybody from like professional basketball, which I said was one. What they win 10 championships total, 8 in a row, 7, like something. I don't know. It was like they just won it every year in the like 60s. Then on the baseball side, I guess trying to think, Connie Mack.
A championship as a head coach, all with the Boston Celtics.
All right, 9. I said 10. So
I mean, they did. Well, I was wrong on the John Wooden too.
But Connie Mack, John McGraw, Bobby Cox is still alive.
I don't think
Is he not? If we only have 4 places on this,
yeah, Bobby Cox is still alive.
but we've got you know, of major sports. I don't know. It's very difficult for me to say. You know, like, do I like what? You know, Pat Summitt, you know, as a basketball coach, or the girls' basketball coach, but do you put that higher than NBA basketball? Like,
I think that's why, first of all, this is really not our fault. It's the people that chiseled Mount Rushmore. There's only 4. Really not our fault.
right.
If you finished it out and added a few more faces to Mount Rushmore, this decision would honestly.
I know there's.
We would still need a 13 and 14 team.
No, that's 6. We need 7. No, we need 8. Okay, well, like, just like, yeah, we'll put them all up there.
Everybody gets a chisel.
Like we're running out of mountain. So anyway, I can't answer the question. Because I can't make my own. I can't make up my own mind.
We need more cowbell. Like we need more chisel.
I do need a cowbell. When I stump you, I just need to be like ringing it over here, because I would be ringing it right now.
Yeah, but no.
But there are guys that, like, obviously won at a very high level, and John Wooden is one of them that also just completely changed the way that the game was played, was also as an exceptional person, an exceptional, if you go in that direction, you know, like, all of that has to come together to be coaches.
It would be another suggestion that was on our Facebook machine. Bobby Knight, but then that would be very heavy.
Yeah, and you cannot say that Bobby Knight would be better than John Wooden if you were putting the whole the pantheon of college coaches. Now,
he's not bumping Wooden like Landry could technically bump Vince Lombardi.
Right. I think that there's an argument that you could say Landry over Lombardi, even though they call it the Lombardi Trophy. Lombardi was before Landry, so
Right.
Landry was, like, but
it wasn't Tom Landry's fault that he wasn't old enough to be there before
the
Lombardi.
originator,
Yeah,
but
he was the originator for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And the other thing is
but
that
31 seasons, is that 30?
it's been a revolving door for the most part.
Yes.
And now, granted, most of that was
Three-
because of
yeah.
leaving.
Yeah, Jimmy leaving. Jimmy could have stayed for a long time and things would have been much different. But 3 Super Bowls just made his influence is what made the Cowboys iconic, which is why they're still America's team today, because they were America's team in the 70s when Tom Landry made them so.
So he has impact.
Yeah.
And so then that's it. Let's homer this 4th one and put Landry in.
Okay.
What do you think?
John Wooden, Vince Lombardi, Pat Summitt, and Tom Landry.
I'll take it. I mean, I'm not
He's
like,
still not
I'm not
happy.
stamping it, but like, okay, yeah.
But I think there is a difference.
If I'm on the board voting on this, I will abstain from
Well,
my.
the
Now you know
fortunate
how the
that
committee feels.
yeah. Now you know how the committee feels, but it means you lose. When we come back, speaking of text threads, can be a cluster, and I'll tell you why this was originated. We'll be back right after this.
I still don't know what you're talking about on that thread.
Yeah, I'm giving a cowbell. I could tell you were like fighting with your internal thoughts during that whole segment, and it made me very happy. I mean, really, that question could be asked so many different ways.
Yeah.
Because if you talk just impact and maybe not like best coach, I mean, how do you not have Madden in the mix? If you're talking just impact and changes of the
But
game,
I'm going to tell you another one.
legacy.
But if you look at like impact of beyond them, Bill Walsh could be in that, because the coach, Bill Walsh, after they were with him and left the 49ers, is pretty unbelievable.
Well, he's obviously still alive and still very much, like on TV, but the fact that like every successful college coach in the NCAA right now used to be an assistant for Saban
Yeah.
is
Right.
like just nuts. Because that's one of those things you talk about, leader of men, like he installs this philosophy that he pushes onto his players and he wins, and he like expects a lot out of his coaches, but then those coaches go and do that same thing wherever they go.
Yeah. No, it is pretty cool.
And the other funny part is,
Do I have time to pee again?
yes.
Okay.
I don't know. Last time, it depends on how long.
I was gonna say it really doesn't matter if I'm not back here.
We really need a 2-holer.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Saban's guys, Sarkisian, Smart, I don't know if Bill O'Brien. No, Bill O'Brien.
Wasn't his assistant.
Right. But people that have left from Saban have been successful. The Belichick tree that I'm in.
I know that's what like Belichick has had 1,000 assistants that got jobs. The rate is much lower. Caglione was assistant for Golden, assistant for Saban. Just
I think Mario Chris was with Saban at one time.
I think if I remember correctly, all 4 teams in the semifinal were all coached by former Saban assistants. How much time is it right now?
Huh?
How much time is it right now?
None.
gravy.
Last food I would never taste good. Okay, we'll see where this is going.
What? What? Huh?
Was that wrong? Not if Hodge says it is. It must be right. Which is what was just said, and sometimes is what. So, a rundown right now. It
Which
said,
no one should.
No.
I mean, no one should be put through that.
I think it ought to be sent to an English teacher every week for help
Well.
to learn how to grade. It would be filled with red marks.
It really would.
But the next segment says text thread catch-up. Last food item never tastes good. So during the week, we communicate and work on rundowns and talk about things. And so I texted thoughts on topic. The last one, anything from an appetizer no one wants to eat the last. That thing was awesome. Which was referring to the robot card, not the last one, appetizer. Oh, no doubt. Part of the headline report. Hey, Josh, would you like to move Ira to 8:30? You get to work earlier. Josh may be teaching a class right now. This was Wednesday night. Josh replies, I just had a moment to read this chain, and I am complete. I just want to know what you're teaching. Text thread segment it is.
It's Josh is. That's the thing. There was an apostrophe S, which I was like, what are we like,
well, actually, that
what
is
am I possessing in this
honestly, that is,
like,
I'm glad you said that. It was your decision to make. So
right.
Josh's decision, would you like to move this state or to help you get to work? I'm not. I almost. I was not going to say it, but you did. So text thread catch up, and what I mean by that, and I think it's about to make sense, is, and we're a part of a number of groups. Clay's in some of our group chains from group me text. And on certain, especially game days, a lot happens from the last thing you sent or read or noticed till you check back in.
Right.
And when you start to try to figure out what is actually talked about, you might have to take a moment. And
well,
so,
yes, because especially when a thread goes, because what happens is, you know, like in a situation where Misty is person A, post something, you know, it'd be like
a video.
And what I really would get is if you could think that that's something very offensive, but they didn't, you know, like, which is why sometimes when text conversations get leaked from some like public thing, and then you can put it out there as like some very negative connotation, but if you actually were part of it, it's not. Because someone could say something like, hey, Mulligans later and watch the Cowboys game, you know, and then some, I can't make it. My grandma responds, that sounds great, right after that.
Awesome.
You know, and so if you were to read that, literally, it was like, what? Why would you say that? But no, that the text come in, you know, your response looks totally out of place.
Well, and I will say that they've allowed you now to hold down and reply to the questions. So your reply goes beneath the actual, we're going to Mulligan's, not that your grandmother passed away, which was awesome.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that. But do y'all, I mean, are you not in those things too?
Oh, yes. the worst when you're like working on, or you're reading it and you're working on a reply, and then now
By
it's
the-
shot
yeah.
back, and you're like,
By the
what
time you
heck?
send your reply, it's not even relevant to where the
Exactly.
conversation
I think
is
there
gone.
it would be really cool if there was a way, like if you were typing, kind of like if you get in the queue to get tickets for a concert, you can't get in until they open the door for you to get your ticket. You're just in that queue, and that little man just
Do
walking.
y'all not see the little bubbles in your group chats?
No, I'm saying
Sometimes, but-
when the bubbles are up, you should be. Oh, you got to the bubbles first. Wait,
Right. The next person.
you're in
needs to-
line. You're in line. If you've got the stick, you can speak.
Yeah, the one that we use for the show, and I have it just open, like it'll show bubbles on y'all's phone, like I'm about to type. But
I don't think it does.
I'm
Maybe-
not about to type.
I don't see bubbles right now,
It should show.
Right.
and it may be because I don't have an older, a newer phone. I've got an old phone.
Do y'all see bubbles? I'm typing.
No, zero bubbles.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I think y'all
Okay,
phones
all right,
are old.
all right.
Because
All right. Hey, all right, hey.
my friends,
Do
I
you,
can
do
see
you
it.
all right, open it up? See bubbles right now?
No.
Your phone's old.
But in my
You're right.
phone with two of my best friends,
Ode.
there's bubbles all the time.
Oh, to Tom. Shout out to Brett Jones.
Um,
All right. So this all started because I was, we were meeting, me, listen to the show, the guest of the show, and John Nichols. We were talking, and we ordered an appetizer, and everybody got some, ate some, all the things, and it the last taquito, the last one there. And some had cut up one end, but then there was this last one,
Last man standing.
the last man standing, he wanted to get it.
Because they were going to be respectful of everyone else at
Right.
the table.
Right. And somebody was picking up the tab. So at that, you kind of feel like, is the respectable thing to do. Katie didn't eat anything. And
Did you want that last
100%.
Go
but
for
here,
it!
but that,
It's like, and by the time anybody gets to the point to eat bread, the last appetizer, the last bowl is not very good because it sits there too long, no heat lamp, no anything. It's not very good, so nobody eats it. The other night at your Texas Independence Day Eve event, Sneed brought the shots, the little,
it was
They
a
were
jalapeno
good.
popper thing.
Yeah.
It was really good.
but
No
toward
one
the
ate the
end,
last
no
one.
one ate the last one. And then finally, as anybody's like looking at it, and it's almost like it's the runt of the litter, and that if it had bowls
Yeah.
to text out, please, I'm still
But
good.
that's a whole other thing, because I've learned this a long time ago. Any potluck type deal, there's an office party, the
You ain't doing
the
potluck.
church. I don't like potluck.
We know.
Um,
It could be like never know.
I need to know who made it. So I need that name,
judging your
and then I'll
potluck
like,
stuff.
yeah, not because
Sometimes I do.
well, but there's different ways that you can judge that, because if it's like a nice old glass, looks around for a long time, that means it's probably someone's grandma that made that,
And maybe they know how to cook.
and that so that could be really good.
I'm in for the vintage.
But anyway, all that to say, like you have a get together to watch the Super Bowl, okay? And people come and they bring their items for the party. It doesn't matter how many people are there and how much food is there. Like 99 times out of 100, there will be food left over, even if people went home hungry.
That's why I bring chips.
No one will eat the last of something.
Do y'all not have that one friend though that, because I do, and I'm thinking of this right now, where there
Go
is
ahead and name
something last, and they're like, can't let it go to waste, and they like grab it, and you're like,
make a joke of
I
it.
just totally cringe. But it's like, you can't say you're gonna get the last one without saying, well, I got to get the last one. I don't want it to go to waste. Why are we like that? Just grab it.
Because everyone like you say, everyone's being nice. The appetizers that you're sharing at dinner, everyone's being nice. And like, I'm not gonna, well, I mean, you think this is my internal dialogue in that situation.
I'd love to be able to hit send and print on some of these.
It's like, I really kind of want that last taquito.
Right.
I already had 2.
And by the time you get to it, you can't ask, hey, I want to eat this. Can you the microwave real quick and bring it back?
We're grabbing the taquito.
Then you start counting 100%.
And then, but I already had 2, so it's really not fair for me.
Well, and that's the other struggle.
I don't want y'all to leave the last one.
Yeah, I can't let it go to waste.
This whole time, y'all are trying to talk to me about something serious, and all I'm thinking about is dadgum taquito.
Exactly right.
Like, I have no idea what's even going on anymore.
It's like when you start talking and I get a ding text and don't pay attention. Yeah.
It's year of the horse or something. We're grabbing the taquito, y'all, from now on.
It is the year of the horse.
What would happen if us 3 were eating? I'm trying to think, because we've shared a hodge pack before at Laddle. I'm just trying to think, like, I feel like we would just grab it.
But I think there's enough in that setting, even though getting to know John, great guy. I've known Katie a long time. I've known Kyle a long time. The irony is John probably was the factor in not the grab. Because I wasn't eating it. Right. She hadn't had any. Kyle kind of danced around and started. And here's the other funny thing about it. You could tell Kyle McVeigh started eat like this appetizer came with like the taquitos and then had some like lettuce around it. Well, Kyle starts eating the lettuce like it's a salad because
he was starving.
I'm still hungry, but I don't want to take the last taquito. And so, but I think when it comes to us, the rapport that we have, nobody's going to feel guilty. We may ask, does anybody want that?
But then they're not going to say yes. So why are we asking?
No, but I think they will. I think us would say, yeah, I'll split it with you. I'll take it, or we're going to say you can.
I would say no, even if I wanted it.
I would too if I.
If you ask me, I'm going to be like, oh no.
So well, that's on you.
I don't think we would do that.
Oh,
you would, but it sounds like Josh and I would not.
So you would leave it there.
If you asked me, hey, or if I said, or whatever we were saying, like,
I'm gonna say, hey, Misty, we're at Lidl. We got a hodge pack. We've got a jalapeno popper left. Hey.
I mean, jalapeno popper. I ain't letting that go.
Like, we're fighting for that one.
There you can have some chips or something.
Right.
But yeah,
there you
no.
go.
If you asked me, hey, does anybody want this or whatever? Do you want this last one? I'd be like, no, go ahead. Like, I would never say, yeah, I do. I don't know. I just feel like that's more rude than just leaving the Lone Ranger out there.
Well, the Lone Ranger was left, and then John ate it, and I guarantee it, he's disappointed and didn't get to have it.
And the lettuce is crazy. I've never known anybody to eat the lettuce.
Yeah.
Wow. Kyle was hungry.
All right. Kyle was hungry, and I started eating the lettuce because I wanted to go. True story. Hey, when we come back, March Madness. Is it electrifying in sports?
Okay, that's actually really funny. I don't think I've ever been in a setting the garnish. Ever. I really don't. I'm trying to think. Like, I've never seen somebody that hungry. How sad for Kyle and starting.
Well, I'll tell you. It was.
No, but this, like I said, I've noticed this. Like, if you have a party and you buy some pizzas, okay? You will have some pizza left over if you bought 4 pizzas or if you bought 6 pizzas.
So funny. Now I feel like this is just going to be a joke. Anytime we're together, I'm just going to be like, you want that last taquito, don't you? And then I'm just going to go snatch it.
There was one time, like, I always am like, planning a party, doing something, order food because I don't want to eat. Sometimes I do it way ridiculous.
Yeah.
But there's one time that I can remember ever hosting a party that I like
ran out of food.
And it was when Hodge showed up late and he was like, is there any more pizza? And I was like, yeah, I think there's some box. Nope, it was empty.
Oh.
But I do feel like it's because in general, most people, kids are an exception to this rule, but in general, most people will kind of be like, pizza's here, you know, you get there, grab the plate, you get a slice, and you kind of take in and notice, like,
Yeah.
all right, I can do two.
Yes.
Like,
right.
you know, but if you look around, it's like, yeah, I'll stick with one.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
And
And
I'll swing back by here and see if there's any more. You know, but you don't want to be like over here pieces on your plate, and the last guy's like,
and the
I didn't
two
get it.
toddlers.
I think,
But also, don't be cheap. Order extra pizza for your friends. Like, don't put them in that situation.
but I also, and we can talk about this before we get to the March Madness.
And remember, I'm jetting soon.
Yeah, that's
so
why.
I'll probably just mid-segment be like, bye.
Well, if you're leaving at 8, done probably about that time.
Just
But my point is
somewhere around there.
Josh, who hosts lunch, some people don't. They bring it. Like, I never take any chips home. I leave them.
Right. Yes.
How many times does when people bring something, they leave it with like Josh and Leanne?
Yes. The other part of this function, and this has actually happened to me before, like I made a 7-layer dip or something, Super Bowl or some sort of food that just a tiny bit of the dip was gone, and then it pretty much went straight in the trash. So then that's annoying too, because you're like, well, why did I even bring anything? Because 2 people got a chip of it, of this, and then it goes to waste. So this is a whole thing that everybody has to deal with on their gatherings. Call Pest Patrol. Call Pest Patrol. Help is on the way.
We are bringing the action to you. The Hodgeback Sports Life and everything in between. Hodge and Josh rocking and rolling in hour number 2. Again, if you missed anything, lots going on. Head over to PotosiLive.com. Giovanni and the Higher Guns tonight. They got the Toadies coming. Wade Bowen on March 27th. So get your tickets to those great shows again. Moy and Donovan and Josh and Chris, those folks out of Potosi, bringing great music. So be sure you head over and get those tickets.
To give them another plug, because it is hard business bringing entertainers to our area, and any area, but I don't know, it is just that go with that, and just the schedule, just kudos to all of the talent. Such a great job they bring to our area.
Yeah, no doubt. And the Toadies, different genre that's normally out there as well. So March Madness we are in March. The Big 12 women's tournament happening. Texas Tech, they'll be in the tournament. Coach Gerlich got the Coach of the Year. But I wrote this down. Is there a better sprint of sports, of moments that, and obviously the most electric minutes in sports is the Kentucky Derby. But when you think for 2, you get pumped, especially for the first couple, because that Thursday, lock it and load. You find somewhere to start watching the 11 o'clock game. Friday, Saturday, all that. And as you look right now, you got Duke #1, Arizona #2, Michigan #3, UConn again, another great basketball program that seems to always be good. I was a fan of Hurley. Now I'm not so much a fan of him. That's another story. But is there a better sprint or moment in sports? We talk about and we start looking for topics and start thinking about what we're going to talk about. But madness, I mean, it is a phrase that even the non-sport person semi pays attention to and will get involved in, even if they saw a bracket, just because they go by the colors of their uniforms or the mascot names.
Of the game, basketball, there is nothing better than March Madness. Like, that's just my personal opinion. In the time frame, obviously, I love football, but for just the few weeks and that really happening every day, all the upsets and all the, storylines that go into it, to me, there is nothing better than March Madness for what it is.
Yeah, and I agree. And I think time of year, we talk about football season and it's great, but my favorite stretch is March Madness into the Masters.
Right.
Because I love golf and all those things with the Masters, because those 4 days and Masters is such a tune in, pay attention to moment.
In recent years, I do enjoy that. So you still think March Madness over Masters?
Oh, but I
know
love,
you love both.
But I love the fact that into the Masters. And I don't know if Josh feels the same, but he's going to roll into March Madness.
Yes. Opening day.
And I guess opening day could be its sprint. It would be their sprint of baseball, because ironically, it's a marathon of 162 games. When Misty leaves, about a guy not going to get to play for 162 games. But March Madness to me is the ultimate sprint of moment.
No, I agree completely, because it's one of those things that it's all encompassing. It's the Super Bowl, but it lasts weeks. Because the Super Bowl is all encompassing because everybody has some knowledge of the Super Bowl. You might not be plenty of non-football fans that will they haven't watched a football game all year, but like, golly, we're going to watch the Super Bowl. The same thing with March Madness is people that could not name 4 basketball players in the country, will join the office pool, throw in $10 and fill out a bracket.
Right.
So it's
well,
just
and my mother-in-law is a prime example. My mother-in-law, she'll probably watch if Baylor's on. She graduated from Baylor, so she'll pay attention some. But after March 15th, Josh will get the bracket out. Remember, stuff will start before we have a show. We'll have a bracket challenge again. But she's going to fill out a bracket. But the other cool thing about March Madness is we know some players. We know playing Boozer at Duke. You might name a couple of players, but you're going to know schools.
Yes.
And it's more about the school than the
I agree with that. I think, people know the schools. They do not know the players.
Yeah, I agree completely. Yeah. We watch a lot of college basketball now at my house, but as my sons have really delved into that. I have traditionally not been one that watched a lot till the last couple of years, and I've enjoyed it. I've become much more of a basketball fan through that. Oddly enough, still don't watch the NBA, but the whole notion of it is just fun.
Right. And I think when you mentioned the Super Bowl, the people that come to your place or any Super Bowl get together, there's something that draws them to it. Commercials, and in this year's case, and I think it's really each year, is the halftime.
The halftime show is always a big deal. It's like when they announce who's going to be in the halftime show, there's always hubbub, whether it's whether it's a
For it
general,
or against it.
yeah, where it's a general animosity or an excitement,
And the food.
yeah. Well, and that's where I was going to
Huge
go
one.
next. The food.
Well, the
is-
appetizers that
And
nobody
the
eats.
outfit. Hello,
The
you have to have a
food.
cute outfit.
The food is definitely very high on that list.
Because there are people that will go buy a football dish. We have them. Oh, we're going to put the chips and dip in a
Football dish.
It's
Yes.
just fun, yeah.
Yeah. And so, but I still, and unfortunately on the March Madness side, because of the way it's set up, is that one, you need to be at a place like Mulligan's that have multiple TVs, because at 11 o'clock, you've got multiple games.
Yes.
You can't really have a March Madness party. You could.
It'd be a bender.
It would.
Madness really well.
But
it's really fun. They usually put the table like all in the middle. I don't know if y'all have ever
I've
attended.
been there.
And all the games going on and different.
And
But
so,
that,
but you
that
can't-
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the first two rounds of the tournament,
Especially the first two, just
the first two rounds, like the I don't know, there's 68 teams now.
105, I think,
I can't. So maybe there's another round. I don't know. But that Thursday where they have the first 16 games, the Friday they have 16 games, and then they have 8 games.
Yeah.
That first 4
Weekend.
days, it is like system overload. Everybody is like trying to, oh, this game's going on, this game's going on.
You're looking for true TV.
It's like somehow there's some network I've never heard of, but there's a basketball game on there, which always leads to the funny thing that I'm always cracked up by. This happened the other day, see live, and there was one of the TVs at the bar, and it was playing. I think Dawson's Creek was on the TV at the on the TV at the that was over at the bar side. I just was sitting and kind of looked over there, and someone was like, "There's something kind of risque going on the TV." And so someone was like, "What is going on that TV?" And we were like, looked, and then I realized, it being Sunday morning, that most likely there was a game that was on that channel yesterday, and when the TV got turned back on,
Right.
it was a college basketball game most likely. So now we've got
Dawson and
the-
Joey.
or maybe NBA, because it could have
for
been like
some-
TNT.
for
and
some-
so it's like,
for some, it's the most of 60 minutes anybody ever watches.
yeah,
Because the football game or whatever was on that Sunday,
yeah,
and it rolled into 60 minutes. It's like,
yeah.
oh, that's happening
But
in the world
that
today.
happens during March Madness so much because it's all these randos,
Right.
and you're like, what is this on in score? And I'm like, no, that's where the last game was. So that's that whole process, and you got your bracket. Some people get into like multiple brackets, and then they do them a little different on each one. So then you're watching a game, and you don't even know
who you have,
who you think you wanted to win this game. Because
And then
I'm like,
well, and then if you're in a bracket like for us, we can't win our bracket. We're not going to win our prize.
Right.
So then you start paying more attention to the bracket that you like can win, whether it's money or whatever you're in, and you're like, did I have Arkansas in this game?
yeah.
Who should I be rooting for? And then you start scrolling through your ESPN app and your bracket, and you're like, oh, okay, oh man, I've got them in both one of them. All right, so I'm going to win or lose in this game. I am not walking out a complete winner.
Best is when you totally forget and you're rooting for a team and you look at your bracket and you're like, oh yeah, like dang it.
All right, let's go, man. Let's go, Purdue. Let's go.
And
Oh
you're like,
man,
I didn't pick them.
I picked Illinois. I really messed up
That
here.
happens to me all the time because I totally forget.
At my house, it's very, very
Competitive.
intense.
Well, your problem is you got boys now that know what they're doing.
Yes.
It's not just, oh, I love that color and I'm going to pick them because mom likes Tech, dad likes Baylor. We'll circle them. They actually know and have somebody they care about.
We've got all the brackets for everyone that participates in our family bracket, so it's the extended family, cousins and such. All of them printed out and they're taped to the freezer in the garage. We go through this whole process every year. We get the box tape and tape them all up.
It's
So
such a fun tradition.
As soon as the game ends, it's like a mad laser, and you get the yellow highlighter to highlight the winner or the black marker to mark out if you picked the loser.
That's a cool deal.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. And so we'll be sitting, whether we
should do that
on
here.
the back porch or in the house, just depending on the time and the weather. And as soon as that game's over, it's like Luke and Barrett are hauling tail. You know,
We should. All right.
Oh,
okay. All right. Hey, I want to get this in. I want to get this in before Misty has to leave.
Right.
I'm going to ask Greg. We can print out brackets. We put on this one of these glass here.
Tape them where people can walk by and see.
Yes, and then you fill it out on ESPN. But we'll print out. Maybe we can put a little table out there, fill it out, and then we put up there. We'll highlight those. We'll have our bracket well, and we can have a bracket here and obviously on the app. That's how. March Madness, the best in sports. Every time of the year is here. Baseball is here, and we have a guy, former Ranger, that's going to be watching 162 games, not participating. We'll be back right after this. Bye. See ya. It's a great idea. Great idea.
Safe and secure facility. We are the DRI to assist and serve you in the destruction of those private documents or any of those annoying boxes that have stacked up over the years. Give us a call, 325-232-6918. Come on out, it's 3602 North Taxman. We'd be glad you did.
What was the drug that so far took again?
I don't know which one I just saw that he. So dumb.
We make none more powerful than the human. Country Electric Cooperative. Call, stop by offices in Roby Snyder and Stanton or visit on country.com. You enjoy the festival live chat. One of the best atmospheres around with amazing food, great drinks. Live Potosi Live team will make sure you have an experience that you're going to tell your friends about. PotosiLive.com or go like them at Potosi Live on Facebook for their upcoming live music and ticket events. Head out to Potosi 897 FM 1750 for the Potosi Live experience. When it comes to talking about people community, no better place. Warsaw Avenue is the place for the best Chevrolet, GMC, and Cadillac. With great service parts and collision centers too. So the next time you need a new car, truck, or SUV, or just good old-fashioned service, come see us for business online. Also on AbilingOnline.com. Why do anywhere else?
So. Fitzpatrick, I need you to play really good today. Do you know much about the World Baseball Classic?
A little bit. I mean, I'm kind of. I mean, I'm following it ish. I can talk about it.
Welcome back to the Hodge Pack. As we get ready to cinch the weekend, we appreciate you taking time to join us this morning on the Hodge Pack, where we talk sports and everything in between. And today was a lot of in betweens, from text threads to not finished, and literally everything in between. Hodge and Josh with me off to a meeting, and so Josh, it is becoming closer and closer to your favorite time of year, and you probably have watched some spring training baseball and paying attention as we look. It's an odd time because you got the World Baseball Classic going on as well, teams getting ready for their season, which, again, the longest one in sports besides maybe golf, but 162 game season ahead for the Major League Baseball season, and possibly the last one for a bit if they don't figure out their collective bargaining agreement issues. We could see a labor strike and a stoppage in play. The stoppage in play is going to happen to one at one time. Would you call him a phenom that was coming into the league, a guy that had a lot of bright-eyed and bushy-tailed future? The future was wearing shades, but Jar tested positive and has received 162 game suspension. I guess that means if they make the playoffs, the Braves make the playoffs, he can play.
I think technically it used to be the case, but I don't know that you can anymore. If you remember Nelson's suspension that came back to play in when the Rangers had a one and done, but I think they've changed that. But it's interesting. He had his so far was ended for 8. The was that he had taken whatever, I don't know what he took, but the story was he had taken that due to an injury he was trying to recover from. That he like in that,
which honestly is why most of them are taking something that gets on the ban list.
Yeah, but
that the performance, chicks digging the long ball probably not the reason why so many of them did it.
No, I think a lot of it is for recovery, for just general, just because it's hard to recover, and especially with the long season, just your normal wear and tear type stuff. But anyway, that was the story. And then coming into this year, gets busted again, so now he's out for the season. This, what is crazy to me is he was under contract from the Atlanta Braves. I understand that your future money is you earn your future money now. Your performance in sports this year will determine how much someone wants to pay next year. So always important part of the equation. But you get suspended and you don't get paid. So now these 2 suspensions will cost Jurickson Profar $20 million. Can you imagine so badly to take something, and you already got caught once, so I could see thinking, oh, I won't get caught the first time.
That's a very it's a very big $20 million gamble.
Yes.
And obviously, I'm not saying he's not made enough money to take a year off of a salary, but knowing that in the Braves, I was looking over here at ESPN.com, they're like, well, somebody's going to step up. But then knowing what that does to your team, now it's like, come on, dude, we needed you.
Yeah.
We wanted you. We needed you. Now you're gone for the whole season, and now we have to figure out how we play. So that's the big news out of Major League Baseball. Josh, your thoughts? Andrew McCutchen joins the Rangers on a minor league deal. He was unfortunately having to play for the Pirates, but at one time was a guy that was pretty good. 39 years old for us. That's young because that's
yes.
But in baseball world, do we anticipate McCutchen making a hand?
Well, here's the deal. He was brought in basically to be the right-handed side of a bench platoon. He's brought here to hit left-handed pitching. Last year, his numbers against left-handed pitching were pretty good. His overall numbers, much down from. I mean, he's a former MVP, a perennial All-Star in his heyday. So obviously he's not that anymore. But he really just has one. It's almost like a special team. When you are brought in to be the guy that's just basically going to be a late inning substitution to hit for a left-hander when a lefty is on the mound, and/or get some starts at DH against a left-handed pitcher.
Like you're a third down back.
Yes,
we need you on 3rd and 1.
Yeah,
you're coming in for that.
Yes, a special player. So he doesn't have to do a lot well to help the Rangers. The Rangers also brought in Mark Canha, another old guy. They signed him to a minor league deal before the spring training started, and I guess that what they're seeing out of him was not encouraging enough to think he could fill that role. So McCutchen is, they bring him in on a minor league deal, so they don't have to clear a roster for him yet. If he shows got what it takes to do that one thing, they'll clear a roster spot and he'll make team. It's kind of low risk. If it works, it's great. If not, we're still in the same boat that we were before. That is a spot of need for the Rangers, because Jock Peterson didn't have a good season last year, but he's lost. He looks much better coming into camp this year. But he's always had a hard time left-handed pitching. If you have Jock Peterson to hit the left-handers, hopefully would, as far as like giving you the best advantage. But also you have Evan Carter, who has struggled in the past against left-handers. So late in the game, a left-handed reliever that give you somebody to pinch hit for him if that becomes evident. So.
But the other benefit from this, when you bring these older people in, and honestly, even though he's not older, Murray, in that when he goes, it's kind of like when Russell Wilson went to the Steelers. It wasn't costing them much because Denver's contract was still helping pay some of that. Well, for Kyler, same thing. But like, would you look, if somebody said, "Hey, give me $1.5 million to do anything," we can't do that.
Yeah.
McCutchen and the Rangers, to pay him $1.5 million if he makes the roster, is like, okay, sure. That amount of money is not the $20 million at the $60 million that Dak's making, or really even the 20 plus million that Pickens is getting. When you look at $5 million, it's not that much.
It's funny that's the pocket change, and that's like, no, we'll give a flyer to this guy. We'll pay him $1.5 million. Like
right.
That, to your normal everyday person, anybody that I know, if your salary was $1.5 million for this year, that would be like life changing. Never.
Oh yeah.
Never the same again for the rest of my life. But McCutchen's made money, so he's not in the situation where that's the only thing he needs. What he wants to do is the Pirates let him go. He was a free agent at the end of last year. He apparently wanted to stay with the Pirates and wanted to play with that organization that he'd spent so much time with. He was an MVP, like I said earlier, for the Pirates. He languished there as a super bad team.
Do you see Paul Skeen doing that?
Well, I don't think he will stay after his initial rookie contract unless that's not going to be the case.
I mean, the only way that doesn't happen is the Pirates say, "Hey, you've got to be our guy." But even if they pay him that unbelievable amount that he's going to be worth, other teams are going to pay him that
Right.
and have
He
a chance
he
to win.
That's why I say that I don't think the Brinks truck is big enough to keep Paul Skeens in Pittsburgh if they're not winning baseball games.
Yeah.
But some people have different motivations. Some people it's just the money. Some people it's the environment that you're around. Some people it's the chance to win. So you got to figure that out. But that's the same. That's the same with just every to work.
Right.
Like, hey, we'll pay you $5,000 more a year to come over here. And there's people that would jump at that. There's some people that would be like, no, like I'm fine where I'm at. And then some people would just go to the same place and they work for way under market, but they've always liked it there, and that's their thing. So I mean, and I think professional athletes are the same way. But $1.5 million being like okay, that's funny, but
it's the value menu.
But the situation that they're in is what they needed was a very limited part-time player that they didn't have to pay a lot of money. So that's not attractive to most people. Like most people would, even if you wanted to pay them the amount that they thought they were worth paying, they might go somewhere else because I have more opportunity for playing. So a McCutcheon at 39 prime, but could go and do, like I said, do one thing well. He was in a situation where that made sense for him. He did not want to go off into the sunset yet. And if he can do just fair against left-handed pitching,
He'll be worth the one.
It will make the Rangers better, and he'll be worth the money.
Yeah, it'll be worth the 1.5. It's kind of like, again, I don't need you to do a whole lot. I just need you to go. I'm not asking you to build the house. Just bring your tools that you're good at, and we'll leave everything else to the other people. We're not going to ask you to get down and tile the ground, Mr. Andrew, because, well, you're kind of old. So we're not going to ask you to do that. So
and it's also funny that 39 is old.
It is in baseball. It is old. The World Baseball Classic, Shohei had a big night. Or does the USA?
It's gonna be interesting to see. I mean, those two teams are very good. I was entertained last night. I was about to go to bed. I'd kind of been chilling, and I realized, oh, there's a World Baseball Classic game on. I'll watch that for a second before I head off to bed. And it was Australia playing the Czech Republic. Never had a major league player. They've never developed a major league player. Australia has a handful, but not a whole lot. And so it is one thing I like about the World Baseball Classic is these guys, for some of these other countries that aren't big hubs of baseball, are like they got a normal Joe Blow job.
It's their Olympics.
Yes, but they like basically playing in some just whatever weekend baseball adult league back in the Czech Republic.
To go get ready to play against some pro athletes.
Like top level. I mean, these guys are like go from being a copy machine salesperson to facing Paul Skeens.
Right, and we'll end with this. But can you imagine, like last night, Japanese fans, I'm reading this off ESPN.com. Japanese fans don't get to see Shohei Ohtani in person very often, but it says they got an eyeful Friday night.
Yeah, he hit a grand slam.
Hit a big bomb. And so, anyway, World Baseball Classic, but before long, the Rangers will be on the baseball diamond at Globe Live. Hey, appreciate you so much joining us this morning. Be back next week. Enjoy, if you're getting a spring break, enjoy it. Watch back sports stuff and everything in between. All right. See you at lunch.
Yeah. Get that check from you then, and I gotta go. My fault, but something.
Right down. So